In the last video, we talked about two ways that companies use their profits to to um, to give money back to its shareholders or return value to its shareholders. The first way is paying a dividend, which means they take their profits and just pass it out to their shareholders. And the second is that they invest it in their business and make their business more valuable. I want to talk about something that happens more often in the stock market, which is that let's say that we went through that. So Joe's got his internet business on the side. So he's selling his pies on the internet and he's selling them in the store. And let's say that some rich guy comes up to you and says, I finally had one of Joe's pies. He's amazing. I want a part of his company. I know you own 10% of the shares of Joe's Bakery. I want to buy this. I want to own 10% of Joe's Bakery because I think that 10% of Joe's Bakery is worth a lot more than the $600, the $6,000 that it's currently worth. Because on paper, remember, he started out with $50,000. We added $10,000 onto it. So now on paper, Joe's Bakery is worth $60,000. And so my 10% of it is worth $6,000. But this guy who really wants to buy my shares wants to buy it enough that he's thinking that it's worth more than that. And I'm saying, well, I kind of like being part of Joe's Bakery. I could have gotten $1,000 last year. Who knows what's going to happen next year? This is growing and growing and growing. And so this rich guy says, okay, I'm not going to give you $6,000 for these shares. What if I gave you $8,000? Okay, so now this 10 shares of stock is not worth $6,000. It's worth $8,000 because that's what that guy is willing to pay for it. And I'll go, yeah, you know what? I've got, I want to make a down payment on a house. So having another $8,000 in my pocket right now is kind of more valuable than having this piece of paper that's worth $6,000. So I agree to this trade and I sell my shares of stock to this rich guy and he gives me $8,000 for this thing, which on paper is only worth $6,000. He doesn't mind doing that though, because he thinks that the company is going to be worth more than $80,000 at the end of the year because this company is bringing in more and more profit. So that gives you a little idea of how the stock market works. So when we talk about how much a share of stock is worth, we can talk about how much it's worth on paper by taking kind of everything that the company owns and dividing it by the number of shares of stock that are outstanding. But the real measure of how much a stock is worth is how much people are willing to pay for it. So if people think that a company has a bright future, they might pay more for a company than it's physically worth because they want to take advantage of those profits that the company is expected to make in the future. And so that's why we find that the stock market is constantly growing in value because companies are constantly growing in value, because what companies do is they take something and they turn it into something that's more valuable. Like Joe takes flour and butter and apples and he turns it into an apple pie. So this is more valuable than this because of the work that Joe is doing. And that makes his company valuable and more valuable over time as he's doing more and more of this turning raw ingredients into apple pie. So stock markets are about people paying what they think a company is worth. And that's why it can be so volatile, because you maybe hear news that says that maybe a drug company was expecting to put out a drug at the end of November. And in the middle of November, they say, you know what, we're not going to make our deadline. We're going to be like 6 months off. All of a sudden that stock isn't worth as much money as you thought it was. And so the people who thought that it was going to be worth this much money are saying, wait, I don't want to be in the company at all. And I want to get out of here. And there's somebody who says, well, I'll buy it for down here if, and so this guy's got a decision to make. And if they want to get out of the stock, they'll pay what this guy is willing to pay for it, because the value of a stock certificate is only worth what somebody else is willing to pay for it. And that gives you a kind of an idea of how the stock market works and what shares of stock are about.